As some of you guys know, my first ever woodworking project that I sold was this bench. I ended up selling this bench for $240, which I would have never expected to sell it for that much. Now, let me tell you why. This piece of wood was a piece of black poplar, which was cut freehand with a chainsaw. This piece was very punky, and because it was cut freehand with a chainsaw, it did not look very nice at all. It, like, some areas were 2 inches thick and some areas were 3 inches thick, and there was a huge arch in it. At the time, I was pretty big into making bike trails in my backyard, and this piece was meant for that. That's why it wasn't cut very nice, and we weren't really worried about it because it was never supposed to be a woodworking project. However, after looking and thinking about it for a while, I decided that I could use this piece of wood as a piece of furniture. So I just started trying to sand the thing down to get it flat as possible. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was gonna just try. At first, I was gonna build the legs that had just 3 rectangle boxes under it. Really simple, but I messed up pretty bad on those. I made the boxes way too wide and tall, and I was just thinking about scrapping the whole project right there. But then I got the idea and turned the boxes on their side and put them in the pattern they are, and you see in the picture. And this design worked really well, and after putting some cross stabilizers to make it a little less tippy on the legs, I thought it actually looked pretty good. And that arch, well, that was the biggest problem. There was a pretty big arch in the middle of it, so the top did not hit the legs in the middle. There was about a half-inch gap, which my mom was telling me to put this weird mix and parchment mix and stuff like this in it, like concrete stuff, and I was like, what? Good thing I didn't listen to that, because that would have been a huge mess and probably wouldn't have worked. I was able to figure out how to put some wood in there and stuff to get it right, so that worked out well. And yeah, so now on to the top. It was looking pretty well, as I said before, but it was also punky. So I decided to experiment using epoxy because it would strengthen it. I also filled a couple bigger holes with the epoxy and some rocks. To sell the bench, I took it to a local Christmas market store thing in my area. It was a place where everybody could kind of bring their stuff, and there was just kind of 2 people running it, but so I didn't have to be there, which was nice. And the people running it took 15% of the sale. At first, I had planned to sell it for $150, since it was my first piece. Then I decided just to put on a bigger price just to see what happens. And sure enough, on the first day, I sold it for the $240 I asked for. So that was really nice and a great start to my business. So that was my first project. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe. And yeah, thanks for listening, and tune back in for some more content.